running there of Beth Mead. Beth Mead's in behind, plays it across. Caitlin Ford's going to score, and she has scored. This fast start has been rewarded for us. Hello, my name is Richard. This is Over and Over and Over Again, and this is the latest episode of the Arsenal Women's Weekly. It's a slightly different show this week. We couldn't get all the guests available all at the same time, so we've had to do it slightly differently this week, but there's still a lot of great stuff coming up. We're going to look back on the victory over Leicester, which was the last game, of course, a few weeks ago. We're going to look at, of course, to this weekend's massive game at the Emirates, as you can see behind me, against Manchester United. We are also going to look ahead to the Champions League game against Juventus away. That is next midweek. So lots and lots of great stuff to talk about on this show tonight. So without any further ado, let's get cracking. So first of all, then, obviously, Leicester City is the first game that we are going to look at now. It ended up a really good victory, wasn't it? A fast start from Arsenal. We dominated that first half, scored 3 goals. Could have maybe scored a few more. Frida Marnan with the opening goal again. She is in great form, isn't she? And in the end, of course, we did win that game pretty comfortably. The fourth goal at the start of the second half from Stina sort of ended the game as a contest, didn't it? And after that, it was maybe difficult for us to keep up that same level. We still could have got a couple more goals, couldn't we, towards the end? Terrible conditions for that game, wind and rain. But ultimately, we got the job done, a comfortable victory. But let's hear what the guy said. We, first of all, will go to Andreas.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't be part of the live show this time because I'm traveling to London. I'm flying on Friday evening, just during the normal time of our show. But I wanted to share a few thoughts to the subjects we are probably discussing in the show. So the first would be a review to the last match of our girls at Leicester. They won 4-0, and it was a decent performance, very dominant, especially in the first half. And I think we can really be satisfied with winning 4-0 at Leicester away. So, as you always say, an early goal helps, especially when you play a team from the bottom of the table. Their only aim is to defend well and to keep the 0-0 as long as possible. So it was very good that Frida scored early after 13 minutes, but before Stina hit the woodwork after 2 minutes. So we had a really good start in the match. And Frida, once again, it's fantastic how she's playing in the last few weeks. And then, we made 2 more goals till halftime, and short after halftime, Stina sealed the whole thing with the 4th goal. I think it was all in all very, very good performance, and the best players for me were Frida, Caitlin. We say it week in, week out, she's in the form of her life. Jordan was very good, and I would like to give some credit to Lotta. She's better and better in the last weeks, solid in defense, and her opening long balls are very good. And one of them was an assist for the 4th goal for Stina. In the end there was one crucial save from Manu to keep the clean sheet. So all in all 4-0 and top of the league. So I think the Leicester match was really good for us, and now we can look forward to the next upcoming tasks, and it will be tough what's coming, but I think you will discuss this later. Okay, see you then.
So that was Andreas' thoughts there on the Leicester game. Very hard to disagree with any of that, really. You know, it was a fast start, as we said, getting the early goal away, so especially away from home. So that helped to open the game up, settle us down. A nice, comfortable victory. Next, we will hear from Matt to get his opinion on the Leicester game.
Everyone, hope you're doing well. going to be a bit different, isn't it, with everything going on? So I'll go straight into it. The Leicester game, brilliantly done. Frida, fantastic with the opening goal. A late run into the box, and she was there to tap in from a Stina cross. So it was fantastic to see that. Great work for her, and for that to happen, it was fantastic. One way to get an opening goal, and it was great to see. Congratulations to Michelle Agman on her WSL debut, only at the age of 16. She is the first of the Youth Academy players this season to get her debut, so congratulations to that. The second goal then came from Caitlin with a tap in. Her movement for this game was phenomenal. She basically was a menace. She had the first chance she had to tap in, Custerbell tipped it away. The second time, this time, she didn't make any mistakes. She was there to tap it in, and it was a great goal to see. So congratulations to Caitlin to score that. It was a great assist as well from Beth Mead as well. Lovely cross into the box for her. So fantastic. Steph Catley's goal, that is one that's still confusing me to this day. Some of the rules around it, the ball not in it. For example, the Switzerland game, ball comes out, hits the post, ball rebounds back to the striker who scores. Goal's not given because it's apparently called offside. I'm not sure what the rule is for a corner, but I'm not going to be disgruntled. Steph Catley has been fantastic all season. She's been very consistent as of late, especially with her set pieces. So she deserves something from it, and it was a nice little reward for her. And congratulations, you probably got a goal of the season contender right there and then. Me in these games always end up with someone ending up with a goal of the season contender, I swear. The last goal, Stina, she didn't overthink it. That was the important thing. She didn't think, oh, I'm just going to do a flick over goalkeeper this time. She thought, right, okay, I'm going to wait for her to come out, see what she tries to do. She didn't do it. Kirsten Lavelle didn't do anything. So Stina thought, right, okay, I'll just move past you and I'll have an open net to score in. So, again, her movement for this game was fantastic. And it was really weird to see that. Maybe it might have been because it was a bit different to see that compared to the Liverpool game. But it was also, want to say, it was a lovely ball from Leicester as well to put that on a plate for Steen like that. So that game, 4-0, couldn't be happier. Top of the league. Who would have thought it?
So, yeah, I mean, top of the league, as Matt says, of course, helped, of course, by the result there the following day, wasn't it, when Chelsea beat Manchester United. So that's opened up a 3-point gap on Manchester United for us. Yeah, I mean, Stina, when she gets in those positions, she's deadly, isn't she? She doesn't miss too many clear opportunities at goal. And it just showed again how cool she is. Ran through with a keeper, decided to take it random and slot it in, rather than maybe trying something a bit cleverer, trying to chip it over the keeper or trying to slot it away. She just took her time and made the right decision, as she so often does. And she's now our top scorer in the WSL, 4 goals so far for her in those 6 games. So brilliant start to the season. And she's got a lot of goals at the end of last season as well. What a great buy she has turned out to be. But yeah, you've got to agree again with the comments about Lotte Wilden-White. I thought she's growing into the position now, isn't she? Playing more regular games again. Hopefully she'll be able to keep playing. I know it's going to be difficult for her, isn't it, when Leah Williamson's back, who is back in training. Good news. And also, of course, when Rafaela Souza is back as well, Lotte probably won't get as many minutes on the pitch, but she certainly steps in again as she did at the end of last season and performing really, really well. And it was a great ball from her for that 4th goal. Now, next, what we'll do is we'll hear Amar's thoughts on the Leicester game.
Yeah, no, I mean, looking back at the last few weeks, it's been interesting, hasn't it? I mean, look back at the Leicester game. It's one we were expected to win and one we pretty much dominated right from the off. Manu had to make a couple of good saves to keep a clean sheet intact. We look at the performance overall, it was controlled. The first goal, again, was a lovely finish with the outside of the foot from Frida, continuing her magnificent form. What a player she's turning into, as I said. Another goal in the week as well, and I'll tell you what, she could be up there for player of the season. Second one was just a beautiful pass with Beth and Caitlin linking up like clockwork, and it was a lovely finish at the back post from Caitlin. Easy finish there. Don't know whether she meant the third goal. She'll probably say she meant it, did Steph. But yeah, I think she was, let's just say she caught out the defence. They were claiming a foul, but it's never a foul, as we know. And yeah, the fourth goal was a lovely ball out of the back from Lotta, and Stina doing what Stina does best, controlling the ball, taking her time and finishing beautifully. It's a really good performance overall, controlled. And yeah, okay, the second half wasn't the best, but overall I think it was a thoroughly deserved and comprehensive win. And yeah, yet another clean sheet and onwards and upwards. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Another clean sheet. We're not conceding many goals, are we? Just one so far in the WSL. It has been a fantastic start to the season, hasn't it? And hopefully it can continue. We've had a few injury problems we've had to overcome as well. And I say players have stepped up and done well. I mean, that Steph Catley goal directly from the corner is going to be talked about a lot, isn't it? Matt mentioned there, possible contender for goal of the season. You don't often see too many goals of the season scored directly from corners, do you? It's usually maybe a long-range strike or something like that. But it was a very good goal. You know, sometimes when you're taking a corner, put it into the dangerous area, anything can happen. And in that particular occasion, it went straight in, didn't it? So, but yeah, I think the Leicester game, just to sum that up there, and obviously really good performance again. Another really good victory, 4-0. Another 4-0 victory in the WSL this season. That's 3 in our 6 games. So that's not bad, is it? We need to keep that going. And yeah, it was a very, very good performance overall, comfortable victory. And yeah, we've got, as Andreas rightly said, we've got to move on now to some probably slightly tougher tests than Leicester. No disrespect to Leicester, they gave their all in that game, but they are bottom of the league. They did just survive last season. So, you know, we've got some tougher games to come. Obviously, starting, of course, this weekend in the stadium, you can see behind me there, the Emirates, of course, the women are back there for this massive, massive game against Manchester United on Saturday evening, isn't it? 5:30 kickoff. Obviously, Manchester United were top of the table, wasn't they? 5 wins out of 5, but they did, of course, lose to Chelsea in their last game at home. That's given me a little bit more confidence going into this game. You know, Man United did look very vulnerable to Chelsea, especially on the counter-attack. And yes, we've probably got some players missing. We don't know exactly yet the full extent of the injuries that we've got and how many players are back. But even so, I still think we may well have enough to win this game. But let's find out what the guys think. If we get Andreas's thoughts first on the Manchester United game.
Yeah, first of all, I say we have to hope that all our players return healthy and without other injuries from the internationals. Yeah, it will be a tough game against one of the top teams of the league and one of our biggest title rivals. Today is Monday, I read that 33,000 tickets are already sold for the match on Saturday. Yeah, one is for me. I'm season ticket holder and I will be at the Emirates on Saturday. I hope that we can have about 40,000, so really special atmosphere again. So this will help the team, I think. For the match itself, I have in my records three really big concerns. So this is Jordan. I hope she can play. She will be fit again. She missed the internationals due to a minor injury, as it was said. But we don't know exactly what it was. But she's coming closer to her best form, so it would be really pity if she will miss this match. We need her. The next is Viv. She had this time off, not playing for the Netherlands, and was not in the squad for the Leicester match. Now she is hopefully being back. And yeah, let's hope she's in a better condition, a better shape than she was before, and that this time off helped her, that we can see the normal Viv. We need her top performance in the upcoming matches against United too. And then another concern is Beth. She returned home due to private circumstances, as it was said. Yeah. We don't know what it was, but let's hope that everything could be solved and everything is good for her so that she can be in the squad and can play at her normal level. This would be important because we said it in the last weeks. She's currently she's the best player in the world, I think. And yeah, let's hope the best for her private life, that everything is okay so far and that she can play on Saturday. Then we have still Leah, Rafa, Kim, and probably Lina out with injuries. So our squad depth is, it won't be the best for the United game, and the problem is that there is nearly no chance or no possibility to react from the bench for Jonas. This could be a problem. A few words to United. I think they played a very good season so far. Mary Earps, very solid in goal. Maya Letizier is, I think, the newcomer of the season. Ella Toon, we know how good she is. We saw it for the Lionesses once again. And the attacking line with Alessia Russo and Nikita Paris. You have to be aware that they can score at any time. And I think we are all happy that Keats is settled so well at United, as long as she's not scoring against us. Please not. So my prediction for the match, it will be a very tough game, and minor things will be decisive. But we are at home. We have the crowd of filled Emirates behind us, and so I say it will be a hard-fought win, 2-1 for the Arsenal.
So Andreas pretty upbeat about it. I mean, he makes a good point there about the injuries. Yes, we've got a lot of players missing again. We still don't know about Lena Hertig, but she seems likely to be out. I think Beth is likely to play, just based on the fact that she did do, obviously Andreas recorded that on Monday. Since then, Beth has done a book signing at the Emirates this week. So you'd assume that she'd be able to play. Viv was turned up there as well. So she's back. She was in training, so hopefully she'll be available back in the squad, which will be a boost as well, won't it? But yeah, the injuries have been a problem, but so far we've managed to cope with them, haven't we? We've got through the games, we've won every game, so it hasn't been a problem. But this is the biggest test that we've faced so far this season in the WSL. We have played Lyon, of course, in the Champions League, let's not forget, but certainly in the league, this will be the toughest test, and it would have been nice to have had a full-strength team available, but you can't help injuries. But I think there'll be good news on Beth Mead, certainly, and hopefully Viv as well. That they were both, they were at the Emirates the other day for the book signing. So that gives me hope that they may well both be in the squad to play on Saturday. And Lotta Ruben-Moy as well has been training. She pulled out the England squad. She seems okay. Jordan, we're not sure about Jordan, actually. She would be a big loss with Kim out as well. So let's hope that she's fit, because that could prove important as well. So that was Andreas' thoughts on United. Why don't we now see what Matt makes of this game?
So next up is the United game. This one is, I'm going to try and go through as quickly as I can. United rely heavily on their long balls, not like us where we can play nice 1-2 touch football and progress the ball forwards. They like to play more of the long balls and just try and get that. But when they do play their short passes, they rely heavily on Toon and Russo to finish the job. So the job of our midfield will be cut Russo off, cut Toon off. They're not going to bite at the end of the day because they rely on them quite heavily. Nikita Paris is going to have something to say, obviously, so we'll probably keep that in mind. But I think this game is going to be a very interesting one. In terms of how are we going to hurt them, United make rush challenges. They have bad decision making. We saw that against Chelsea, where they just basically gave the ball to Sam Kerr with all the time in the world to shoot, and she scored. And it's the same with their response. Their response, as soon as they lose that ball, they don't think, right, I've got to go and win it back. They have almost like a timer in their head, like a 10-second timer, where they go, oh crap, now I need to respond. And they're really poor from long ranges. Just to sum it all up, at the Emirates we've seen goals from Caitlin and Beth from long ranges, so basically girls shoot on sight is how I'd imagine it. United are now going to be the third team at the Emirates. We have beaten all the sides that have been coming there from the WSL. 100% record. The only team to have scored so far is Chelsea in that 3-2 wonder game of the season against Chelsea. Who would have thought that? At the start of the season, going up against Chelsea and winning. So United have no current injury issues, but a lot of their players were playing over the international break. They had more minutes than most of the Arsenal players, which is going to mean they're going to be more tired than us. Fingers crossed. We are going to be without Rafa, Leah, Taya, and Kim, as far as we know. I'm doing this on a Wednesday, so I do not have any updates to say, oh yes, Lena's definitely out, or Beth's definitely not going to be there. Also, don't know what's happening with Manu. So, at this current moment, as far as I see it, if they are mentally ready and they've had a word with Jonas and the club to say, yes, I want to play, or no, I can't play, or I don't feel mentally ready to come back yet, then it will be their decision at the end of the day, and that's the most important thing for them. As long as they feel like they are ready to play, let them play. If they don't feel like they're ready to play, don't let them play. Allow them time off. I'm hoping that we have all our girls that can be available, will be available, but it doesn't work out like that all the time.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know at this moment in time, again, do we? I know, again, Matt recorded this a bit earlier in the week. We still haven't really heard any more updates other than the fact that, I say, the book signing may give some clues as to the availability of Beth and Viv potentially. So we'll have to see exactly what happens there. But yeah, I mean, we know it's going to be a difficult game. But, I mean, Matt's done some really good analysis there of Manchester United. And we did notice that in the Chelsea game, didn't we? Chelsea got on top eventually in that game and their quality showed through. And I'm sure it will be the same for us on Saturday. But we're going to have to turn up and play well. Yes, we've got injuries. We know this. We've mentioned it enough times, but we've still got to go out there and do the job. And I'm sure if we play our best, we can get the victory. I mean, Matt didn't give his score prediction there. Andreas went for 2-1. We will now get Amar's thoughts on this game, this really big game on Saturday evening against Manchester United.
Yeah, so now we move on from Leicester to the bottom of the table to the top. And yeah, Manchester United were previously unbeaten and conceded a goal prior to the game against Chelsea. And they played well, I thought, in patches. But once they made that mistake for the first goal, it was difficult for them to recover. Yeah, they scored a nice goal themselves, but Chelsea ultimately showed their quality. And yeah, they'll be eager to bounce back. We know that their record, different previous seasons away from home, isn't great. Should have probably beaten us last season, but we still battled back with 10 men. And as we know, had Viv shot not at the bar, or had Kaylin's shot from not been down to 2 magnificent saves from Merriott, we could well have won the title. But that's a thing of the past, and I think the girls will be keen to put on a show in front of a crowd of 30,000, could even be higher. And as you know, yeah, I'm going along with Andy and Matt, and certainly very much looking forward to it. It was one of the great rivalries in football, not just in the Premier League, but hopefully in the WSL from now and for many years to come. And it promised to be a great game. I'll be keen to bounce back. And thankfully, both teams didn't suffer too many issues away on international duty. But yeah, it'll be a difficult one to predict, but one I think we can edge and win in front of our fans. And yeah, it's a tricky one to call, but the girls will be keen to put on a show, just like they did in North London Derby, and I'm going for a 3-1 win, so yeah, bring it on.
So, and Amar's there pretty confident a 3-1 win will be very nice. In my preview video I did the other day, I said 3-1 as well. I'm going to stick with that. I do think that we will come out on top in the end. I think we've got too much quality going forward. And I think Manchester United defensively do make mistakes. They try to play out from the back, and I do think that they're a good side. We know they're a good side. They finished fourth, 2 or 3 seasons in a row, haven't they? But I do feel as though when it comes to the top level, they're not quite at the same level as Arsenal are, as Chelsea are, and Manchester City even. I do think that's still just a little bit off that level. So yes, they're improving, and I'm sure they may well get there. But I think at this moment in time for this season, I do feel as though we have got the advantage over them in terms of the quality that we've got, even with our injuries. And I do think we'll win. So I'm going to go 3-1 as well, as I said in my previous video on this game. But it's going to be a really good game, isn't it? There are still tickets available. So if you are wanting to go and you can get there on Saturday, get a ticket. It's cheap and it's good value and it's good football as well. And it's going to be, I think it's pushing on towards 40,000 tickets sold now. As the week's gone on, more and more tickets are being sold, and I think it's going to be a great atmosphere again. Obviously, Andreas is there, Matt's there, Amar's there. Unfortunately, I can't make this one at the Emirates if it was on the Sunday as it originally was going to be, I would have been able to go, but not on the Saturday, unfortunately. So I'm having to miss this one. I'm gutted to have to miss it, but unfortunately, life issues sometimes don't make it easy today to get to the football as well. But hopefully, Andreas, Amar, and Matt can meet up, and they will produce a nice vlog for the channel for that game on Saturday for you, which is going to be good. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great game. Can't wait. It's been it seems like ages since we've last had a WSL game with the international break, but it's good that it's back. And I'm sure it is going to be one not to miss, actually. So I'll be doing a watch along, of course, as always, for that game, 5:15 kickoff. 5:15, I'll be going live for 5:30 kickoff. Sorry. So please join me for that. Now, after Manchester United, it doesn't get any easier, does it? Because the Champions League's back. It is Group Game 3, and we are travelling over to Italy, to Turin, to face Juventus. And, of course, one of our old friends, of course, Joe Montemuro, who is now the manager at Juventus, doing really, really well. They've had a decent start to the group as well. They beat Zurich and they drew with Lyon, of course, in their last game. So it's going to be tough, isn't it? Looking forward to this game as well. I think, we've got 2 wins out of 2 so far, haven't we, in the Champions League. So if we can win this game away at Juventus, and that would pretty much guarantee that we'll qualify through the group, possibly even win the group. But these 2 games against Juventus, home and away, are going to be crucial, aren't they? And I think if we can get 4 points from those 2 games, a win and a draw either way, I think that would be enough, certainly to put us through and possibly win the group as well. So looking forward to it. It's going to be a really big game, a really big test. Hopefully we may have 1 or 2 players available for this game. It's on Thursday, isn't it? So we'll see. But let's get Andreas' thoughts ahead of this Juventus game as well.
After the big one at the Emirates on Saturday, we have another very, very challenging task next week. On Thursday, we play in Italy against Juve. Yeah, Champions League again, and this is really, really a difficult opponent. Just remember, they drew versus Lyon 1-1 at home, and Lyon, although that we have beaten them 5-1, but don't forget that they are the current title holders in Champions League, and a 1-1 against them is a good result. I think I personally would take a 1-1 in the match at the Emirates against Lyon. So let's take Juve very, very serious. Last season I saw them on TV when they played 0-0 at Kings Meadow. It's the typical Joe Montemuro style. They try to have a lot of ball possession. And I remember Pep Guardiola, when he was in Munich, once he said, as long as we have the ball, our opponents can't score against us. So I think this is Joe's philosophy too. And furthermore, Juve plays a typical Italian. They defend very, very well. And it's extremely difficult to score against them. So what I expect from next week's match in Italy is a typical 0-0 game in which 1 goal decides, if at all. So you want to have a prediction for me? I say, well, maybe 0-0, but to be optimistic and to believe in our girls, I say we'll win 1-0. Then I have just checked their squad. There are a few really well-known players. In goal, they have Pauline Pero-Magna. We know Hulk from her time in the Arsenal. In defense, there is from Sweden international Linda Sembrand. In midfield, Sara Björk Gunnarsdottir from Iceland. She's one of the best holding midfielders in the world. She came back after maternal leave. One more, Sophie Junge Pedersen, Danish international. And the attacking line, Cristina Girelli, Barbara Bonansea, Agnes Bonfantini, Italian internationals, and a Dutch international, Linette Berenstein, which I know very well from 2 or 3 years she was at Bayern Munich. Yeah, you must be very concentrated and don't underestimate Juve. It will be a very tough match, and I would take a 0-0, but but the more I would take a 1-0 win for us, and that's my prediction. So that's all. See you all on Saturday at the Emirates, I hope. Bye-bye.
So Andreas is sort of going through the Juventus squad. Yeah, when you look at some of them players he's mentioned there, some very, very good players indeed that they've got, and it will be a tough game. But away from home as well, it's never easy, is it, in Europe? But you know, if we play anywhere near how we played in Lyon, then I'm not sure it'll be 0-0 or 1-0, will it? But we'll have to see. We can't guarantee we'll be able to produce a performance like that again. And I'm sure Juventus, as Andreas rightly says, will be a lot more organised defensively. We kind of know, don't we, the sort of style that Joe wants to play. You know, very similar to the style he played when he was with us, wanting to score a lot of goals as well. And he's, you know, Andreas is right. Isn't it? When we've got the ball, they can't score. That's a good philosophy, isn't it? But yeah, I think in this game it's going to be another big test for us, isn't it? You know, we've had already a big test in the Champions League this season, came through with flying colours. Can we do the same again with this one? I do think the Manchester United performance and result may have a bearing on how the game in Juventus goes, because we know confidence and momentum is such a big thing, isn't it? I think if we beat Manchester United, I think we can go over to Juventus and definitely get a positive result. Let's hear Matt's thoughts on this big Champions League game now.
So now on to Juventus. We know Joe quite well from his stint from playing at Arsenal, managing Arsenal, sorry, not playing. That would have been a funny one. So as far as I could see from injuries, I think this is going to be probably wrong. Needham, I'm going to say, she was out with a fracture. Obviously, we don't know what the situation is. They haven't given me an update on that to anyone at the moment to say, oh, for definite, these players are available, these players aren't available. For me, it's going to be a bit similar to the Man United game. Bonacea and Girelli are going to be their main players to keep an eye out for. They're going to be, if we can keep them quiet, that's going to be great. If we can't, it's going to cause us more problems, and can't really afford to lose this one. We need to keep that momentum up in the Champions League, especially when we have 3 Champions League weeks come next month. When it comes to this team, they do struggle with their set pieces, which is odd. Funny enough, they just, especially when it comes to crossing as well, they just don't seem to put their heads on the end of the balls or anything like that. They just seem frightened to do that. So a real test of someone like a Steiner to go out and put a bullet header into the back of the net instead of having the same old people trying to win these headers. It's a bit of a shame we don't have the Leah or Rafa, because we could have used them for this. This would have been our weapon, but it's not meant to be. Then again, Lotta does make herself known in that 6-yard box, so maybe we might see that happen. Juventus also had poor decision making around them. For example, the game against Lyon, when they were in hard, guys puts a long ball over the box. Both the goalkeeper and defender collide, allows Horan to score their goal to equalise. Put them in front even, which is another thing. They're dangerous when they go behind, because they then start to play. So it feels like, I don't like to make it's almost like they're willing to let everyone go in front before they start to react. I think we will see a close game, and just because of everything going on, I think Juventus are a better team than United. I think that if we get a point, I think we'll be happy and we can just go from there. So I think a 1-1 draw for this game would be quite nice. So that is all from me, and hopefully see you soon on the next one.
So again, Matt's predicted it's going to be a tight game. I mean, I think it will. Away from home, it's never easy to win games anyway. Certainly not in the Champions League against a very good side. So yeah, I mean, I didn't see their game against Lyon, so that was quite interesting what Matt said there about the defensive mistake that they made for the goal. But I mean, it's not easy to get a result against Lyon. So Juventus have got something about them this season. They're a very good team. and so it's going to be a difficult game. We know that, but yeah, I do feel as though the United game is going to play a part in this. The performance that we put in over in Juventus, but yeah, again, Matt's maybe looking to take a draw. I mean, to be honest with you, I think we would all be fairly happy with a draw, wouldn't we? You know, it's a sort of game away from home where you would definitely take a draw. But I do feel we're capable of winning. I think we're capable of beating anybody. I think our front three and the options that we've got in the attacking area of the pitch is going to be, no one's going to be able to live with that. I don't feel anyone in Europe. And we showed that against Lyon, didn't we? So, but yeah, let's see what the game brings. And now let's bring Amar in with his thoughts on the Juventus game.
Yeah, now looking forward again now to the Juve game. Yeah, that promised to be an interesting one. They've shown good signs at home this season. Looking up their record earlier, it shows they're in a decent position in the league. Conceded 8 goals and scored 23. Whilst they're good at home, they have a bit of a poor disciplinary record, 1 or 2 red cards here or there, but we know they're formidable at home. And yeah, no, I promise you to add a bit of intrigue, as I'm sure you're well aware, it's the Joe Derby, and it'll be interesting to see test ourselves. But after that stunning performance and win against Lyon and the former in, I think we should go there believing we can win. I promise to be a tight game. Yeah, we've got good players, as we know, through the Italian women's team, but they didn't have such a good game in midweek, losing to Northern Ireland. And well, let's see. I feel these 2 games will go a long way to deciding where we finish in our group. But again, I think it's a winnable one. No one saw that result against Lyon coming, and that gives us reason to be cheerful. And as long as we can come to the Manchester United game unscathed, I'd say we can go there and make it 3 wins from 3. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident. And I will say we will win that game 2-1, but sure promises to be a good one going up against the former manager. So yeah, forget about the World Cup when you can have a great helping of women's football and 2 quality teams going head to head. So yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, it's a great point, isn't it? I mean, as I've said enough on this channel, you know, we're not going to be covering any of the World Cup on the channel. We're going to concentrate on the women's football and other stuff as well. But yeah, I mean, it's good, isn't it, to have a game like this in the Champions League, 2 of the best sides in Europe going head to head, and it's going to be a really, really important game, isn't it? The important thing for us is that we can't really afford to lose one of these games against Juventus, can we? I mean, if we only got 1 point from these 2 games, then it's all going to come down potentially to the home game against Lyon, and they're going to be looking for revenge, aren't they? So we don't want it to go down to that point. But yeah, I think we would all take a draw. It's good, isn't it, that it's good that Amar is so confident about this game. But I'm not so sure I'm quite as confident that we'll win. I don't know. It's going to be tough, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, if we're making a prediction at this moment in time, I think I will go for. I think I will go for a draw. Actually, I think I will go for a draw. So I am going to predict a 1-1 draw in Juventus, and we'll take that, won't we? Beat them at home, and then that puts us in a really strong position, doesn't it? So, but yeah, it's going to be it's a big week for the Arsenal women, isn't it? Manchester United on Saturday evening at the Emirates in the WSL, and then Juventus away in the Champions League. Really, really big week. If we can get 2 really good performances and 2 great results, it's going to set us up nicely, isn't it, for the rest of the season? Especially when you look at the players that we've got missing, to get them to come back in again. If we're still in a great position that we're in, then things are going to be looking really good, aren't they? So, so yeah, a slightly different Arsenal Women's Weekly show this week due to logistics more than anything. You know, Andreas flying to London for the game. Other people just busy this week. I couldn't fit it in around every other stuff as well. So we've had to do it like this. I hope that you've still enjoyed the show. And thanks obviously to Andreas, to Amar, and to Matt for your contributions, you know, taking your time out to send the videos in so we can put a show together for you. And I hope you have enjoyed it. Excuse me. Coming up on the channel, as I say, on Saturday at 5:15, we'll be getting ready for the watch along for the Manchester United game. So please join us for that. We're looking at past World Cup memories as well. We've got a series running throughout the World Cup, starting with 78 this week, and we're moving on to 82 next week. Of course, we've got to watch along at the Juventus game on Thursday evening as well. So please join us for that one. Loads and loads of great content through the World Cup. We're not covering the World Cup, as I said, but we are doing lots of other content. So please join us for all of that, and hopefully you will enjoy what we're doing. Please give this a like if you've enjoyed this little different show that we've done for you tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please give it a like if you have. And please consider subscribing to the channel. So we do cover the women's football, the Arsenal women, plus all the men's stuff as well. So loads and loads of great stuff to come. So thank you very much for joining us. Manchester United on Saturday is a really big game. I say tickets still available. Please go and get yourself some tickets if you can make it. It'll be a great game. You certainly won't regret it. So we look forward to seeing you hopefully at the Emirates at the weekend. If you bump into any of the guys, please say hello. They're very friendly, as you know. It'd be great to meet up with you guys as well. So we will see you very, very soon. I'm back on Saturday, I say, for the watch along 5:15. We'll be live. Please join us for that. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. My name's Richard. This is over and over and over again. This is the Arsenal Women's Weekly. It's a big week for the women, isn't it? Let's see what we can do. Let's hope we can get 2 really good results. We're feeling upbeat at the minute, pretty confident. Let's hope the girls can produce the performance. I'm sure they will, and we'll be there cheering them on. So let's enjoy another good week. We'll see you very, very soon. In the meantime, of course, as always, come on, you Gunners. Let's do this. Let's do it. Speak to you soon, guys. Take it easy. Running there of Beth Mead. Beth Mead's in behind, plays it across. Caitlin Ford's going to score, and she has scored. This fast start has been rewarded for us.